Hello, my friends. You're welcome to On Mission with Jesus. I am Jerry Ndichafa, your host. 5 reasons why Jesus is coming soon is true. Again, the writer of Hebrews used the promise of the coming of Jesus to strengthen the Christians to face their Christian life so well in spite of so much suffering. One of the things I want to explain to you from that whole passage of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 23 to 25 comes from verse 25. Let me read that verse. Not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, all the more as you see the day drawing near. The key phrase, as you see the day drawing near. The day drawing near is the same as saying the day of the coming of the Lord. The day of coming of the Lord is soon. It accords with the one message that Jesus and the apostles kept saying about the coming of Jesus, that he's coming soon. So I want to give you 5 reasons why Jesus coming soon is still so true and so urgent. I hope that it will help you when you are in pains to know that what shall last is your life with Jesus, not your pains. I hope you will be able to realize that your pains is counted in days, weeks, months, and years. But that is altogether short. Your life with Jesus is counted in terms of everlasting to everlasting, so that you can appreciate the day of your everlasting deliverance more than you look for the day of a temporal deliverance. So here are the 5 reasons. Number one, the whole world at all times recognize the events and wonder why. To every generation, Jesus is presenting the same message through the signs of the end times that he spoke some 2,000 years ago. Every generation recognizes that these manifestations are unusual and they are concerned. Who can tell them what it means? But only us, using what the Bible says. We have politicians trying to give meaning to the natural catastrophe by coming up with global climate change policies that have attracted a lot of controversy and opposition. Yet, there is no assurance in that. So every generation is at least noting the events. What they need is the meaning, so that whatever they decide to do, they do from the vantage point of the true meaning of the events. Point number two, God is impartial to all the generations of mankind. When you read or hear about the signs of the coming of Jesus Christ, the message is not to those 2,000 years ago. The message is not to those 30 or 50 years into the future. The message is to you and I now, to those in this generation, as it was to everybody who was alive in their own time. God is impartial to every generation that has been and that will be. He wants none to perish. He wants none in any generation to have an excuse and say, in our generation, we saw less, or we did not see, or we did not know anything that was pointing us to your second coming. No. Point number three, the call is specific to people alive, not to those who are dead, to those who are still to be born. When you understand that this message is as relevant to the generation today as it was to the first generation, you see the urgency, and it is correct. The message is to every generation to know in their lifetime that Jesus is coming soon. The lifespan of every generation is not long enough. And so to that generation, Jesus is coming soon means Jesus is coming soon. Even if that generation dies when Jesus has not yet come, it meant so to them. After all, hundreds of generations have died since Jesus first prophesied the signs of his second coming, right? The good news is that they all heard it and had enough time in their hands to make amends with God before the judgment day. Point number four, time may be shorter for the dead than for the living. The fact that generations have passed away through death when Jesus has not yet come only increases the reliability and the necessity of this message that Jesus is coming soon. Why? Because how long between when somebody dies and when Jesus shall come? How long is that? How is time in the world of the death measured? I bet it is not the same like time in our own world, okay? At least I know that in the heavenly world, 1,000 years on earth is like one day to God, and one day to God is like 1,000 years to man. I don't think those who are believers in the grave are thinking, it's been 2,000 years since Jesus promised us he's coming, and we are still rotting in the grave and he has not yet come. No, not at all. While we the living may be thinking, it has been 2,000 years, it may not even have been a week for people who have died and are in the grave. Moreover, remember Revelation 12:12 says, the devil knows that his time is short. And he knew that his time was short 2,000 years ago, and every day he is acting with so much urgency. Or have we seen a devil who is relaxed and acting as though, well, I have a lot of time in my hands? No. We think it's been 2,000 years, and the devil is like, I only have a few hours left. I only have a few days left. And if I do not do so much to accomplish, I may not even accomplish a tenth of my goals within the short time that I have. Point number 5. Jesus wants no one to perish. This message is also fresh, specific, and personal to every generation because Jesus wants no one to perish, both now and those that must still be born. If Jesus comes today, when he still had plans for, say, 5 more generations of people to be born into this world, then God has just deprived 5 generations of people from having the opportunity to be born to enter eternity with Jesus. Because it is better to be born to live with Jesus than not to exist at all. That's why you should believe in Jesus. Else, why? No, you have destroyed why you were ever brought into this world. Everyone who shall be with Jesus in heaven shall always thank God for the day they were born. They shall always be thankful that they exist and they were created. I hope you got the 5 reasons and you see the urgency of the coming of Jesus soon and you understand that meaning better. There is still more. Another message, another great point. Motivation from Hebrews 10:25. Hope you shall follow that up too. If you enjoyed this one, again, like, comment, share, make others to be blessed by it, and subscribe. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thank you.